It's the growth hormone machine. She says it's relatively light. John, thanks a lot for coming in. Really appreciate it.
No problem.
Totally appreciate you doing this.
Do you want me to look into the red light or directly into the lens?
You, the lens.
Okay.
And
John, what was your decision to come into our clinic? How did you hear about us?
I was actually reading a article about age management in the United States about Cenogenics, and I was intrigued. And when I came to Panama, when I found out about your clinic, I wanted to explore this further. Part of my reasons were that I'd reached a certain point in my life where I just didn't feel quite as energetic, didn't feel like I had quite the edge I had even 10, 15 years ago. I was really just starting to feel drained, and I was looking for something that could help me rejuvenate. I did the standard vitamin treatments, spa treatments, purges. I was taking vitamins on a regular basis. These things helped, right? But I still felt like I wasn't quite as on it as I normally would be. And I was looking for something that would help me deal with aging in a graceful manner. You know, we all age, and I have no problems with that. That's just part of life. But if I could do it in a manner that reflects who I am as a person inside. Even though I could be 60 years old, I want to look a young 60. I want to feel a young 60. I want to be a young 60. And I'm prepared to do what is reasonable to get there.
What's been your experience so far in the program? What was your initial experience through the executive health evaluation?
The initial health evaluation was great, extremely thorough. I was very happy with that. Much more thorough than what I'm used to. I'm used to visiting doctors' offices, sitting there for 5 minutes and then being processed. I would have to sometimes call and ask what are the test results. I'd be lucky if I got information. It was basically if I didn't hear anything, I guess I could assume everything was okay. Obviously this type of program I feel is much better because I have a one-on-one interaction with a competent physician who can explain to me what's going on with my health. Because if I'm putting the energy into making myself better, I want to know, I want to understand.
So what kind of treatments did Age Management Panama put you on?
Well, I've been on low doses of...
Actually, you don't have to, you know what, you don't have to say anything like this if you're not comfortable.
No, that's fine. So I've been on low doses of HGH, HCG, and testosterone. And the testosterone in particular for me initially was rather interesting. Within a 24-hour period of the testosterone, I felt like I could go run 100 miles. It was incredible, actually. Kind of felt the way I did when I was 19 and 20, all full of piss and vinegar, ready to take on the world. It was great. I loved it.
James, you got anything to ask him?
well, how old are you?
48.
Okay. And maybe let's talk about some of your feelings prior to the treatment, just how we feel, like everybody feels.
Yeah.
No, he hadn't felt what everybody was feeling before he came in here. It took me 5 or 6 times.
Everybody I'm 2 years older, so
okay.
Same. I mean, how we all felt up until, this, just the normal feelings.
Well, the normal feelings I had was just drained, just energetic, and a lack of energy. And the other thing too is the brain fog, as I call it. And the brain fog for me was one of the biggest issues. I mean, my mind used to be so acute. And yes, we get older, and yes, our memory fades a bit, and that's not necessarily the worst thing in the world. But it's amazing how once I started with treatments, all of a sudden I developed a clarity of mind that I hadn't had for a long time. It's as if a cloud had been lifted, and all of a sudden I found myself more in touch with what was going on around me. It's strange to hear it, but it actually is amazing what a difference it makes. My mental acuity has definitely improved, no question about it, as compared to where I was, say, a year ago.
That's good, that's what I was looking for. And how about the same type of thing from a physical side?
Well, from a physical perspective, what I noticed is I've dropped a few inches off my waistline. My chest size has increased a little bit, which makes a big difference in your appearance. The other thing too that I like, and I think it's the HGH that does it, is I love the way my skin feels now. Skin feels softer, it feels better. I was briefly off of HGH for about 3 weeks because I ran out of supply when I went to visit family in Canada, and I noticed that towards the end of that, my wrinkles in some areas started coming back a little bit. And when I started doing the HGH, within a matter of a week, they disappeared. Not completely, but they're, it's much better than where I was before. And people have actually looked and commented on the fact. They said to me, John, what are you doing, right? Because you look like you have more of a glow around you. What are you into? And I said, well, living in Panama, exercising, swimming, and I'm also under a good medical care regime. They said, I would tell you about it, but you being in Canada, you don't have access to it, so it won't do you any good.
Oh, that sucks.
It does, but you know what? I mean, if they want it, they either have to come here or they just have to accept that they're not going to get it, and that's all there's to it.
Yeah, that's true. Did you find that it was difficult to stay on this regime, that it was challenging, or was it something easy to adopt to?
It's like everything, you have to develop the habits initially and focus, right? But once I have the habits down and my routine established, it's very easy. It's not difficult at all. It's like most people, they wake up in the morning, they fix themselves a coffee, have a glass of juice, whatever, eat breakfast. For me, I wake up in the morning, I do my injections, have a glass of water, take a walk, and then I have breakfast. It's fine, I feel great. It doesn't take like much time. I mean, we're only talking, a couple minutes in the morning. So it's not exactly the most challenging routine.
How did you feel about giving yourself an injection that first time?
First time I was nervous about it, in the sense that it's something new and something I experienced, but now to me, I don't even think twice about it. It's just so simple. It's like a pinch and that's it. In fact, I actually look forward to my injections because I know that I'm making myself feel better. It's a part of my routine that I want to miss. In fact, once I started doing my injections, I actually started skipping my first cup of coffee because I didn't need it. I'm not saying I felt more energetic because of the injections, I just felt better.
Well, what would you say to somebody who's contemplating, they're in their 40s, 50s, they're contemplating the concept of age management, and they're evaluating, money versus what this can do for them? I mean, you've been there. Mm-hmm. What do you think about that?
To me, money without health is not worth living. I'd rather be healthy. And if I can take some of the hard-earned money that I've accumulated over the years and devote it to enhancing my sense of well-being, it's the best investment I can make. There's absolutely no question that I can be more productive. And I am more productive now than I was even a year ago. I just feel better. And if I feel better and I can do more, achieve more, then it's worth it. I love the program, and my biggest concern simply is that if I have to go somewhere else and travel somewhere else that I don't have ready access, but other than that, I love it, and I wouldn't highly recommend it to anybody. It's changed my life, made me feel a lot better, and don't need the Viagra.
That's cool. Awesome. Thanks, John.
I don't know if that's too forward, but
Not at all.
No,
That's good.
It's straight to the heart, and people, that's what they're wondering.